Okay, this video is part 2 of the doing a score entry for a line. Let's see where we got up to at the end of the other video. Hang on, running the wrong project, that don't help, does it? I've got 5 billion different things open here. Right, so running our project that we finished. So press 1. Got a nice little 1/10 of a second delay, so we can scroll quickly, highlighting it with a naff little underneath tag, and that was about it. So we need to just add the code to do the creating initials. Okay, so let's have a look at doing that. Right, what we need to do, we need to set up a display for the initials. So if we go to General Logic and look at our game loop, if we want to draw some text, this is where we put it. So we want to set a case up in the switch in our game loop for our high score entry. Okay, put the break, and what we want to display on screen is the initials as they currently are. So we're going to ask the text manager, and we're going to say draw, and we're not going to use version 1, we're going to use version 3. Okay, so we're going to say what font. Well, the font I'm going to use is going to be my Gradius font again. What text? Well, it's my initials, which I've already created. Where? I want it in the center of the screen, center.x, but I want it near the top of the screen, so I'm going to align this text from its top. Okay, so I can display it down near the top. So I'm going to say like 50 pixels down. Right, I need to create a text attribute for this. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get the Visual Studio to do this again, like I did in the previous part of this video. So I'm going to call my attribute TA selected initials. Okay, now it should moan that it doesn't exist, because it doesn't. Let's see if I can get it to create it. So I'm going to say generate field. Don't know how that's going to work. Oh, it's created it up here. Excellent. Right, so it's created the space for it for me, but I need to define it. So I'm going to say new text attribute. I'm going to make this massive, so I'm going to put it at scale 5, kerning 1. That gets scaled as well, so don't worry about that. And the colour, let's have yellow. Let's have yellow, a nice bright yellow. And my alignment I want to be top. Okay, so that's going to display the current set of initials I've got. Right, let's go back to high score entry, because what we've got right now is some code that we're going to run, and I'm just going to put it here, so just above where I created my track in my score entry. I'm going to create another subroutine. Okay, and I'm going to call it made selection. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it that. Okay, so you can use that name or not. Right, what we want to know is when they've selected, and I'm going to set it up so I use the left control key for that, for like selecting an initial. If they've selected initial, great, I can add that to my name that I'm building up. If they've done rub, I want to remove something, and if they go on to end, I want to finish. Okay, so let's do a switch and examine what the current name of the selected thing in the high score entry is. So we can say graphics.mnn selected name. Remember what I said in the previous video, the name is the actual initial, the character. Okay, so if I do that, that's going to check for rub. So to remind myself, I'm going to put a little comment on there, rub. We'll need a case for that one, which was end. So again, I'm going to remind myself that that was end. And then if it was anything else, the space or the characters, that's going to be my default case. So I'm going to say default break. Okay. Right. What I need to then set up, I need to, if I do rub, I want to remove one from the initials. Now, I created a string helper to help with this specific task. So we can say string the initial. Oh God, can't even spell initials. The initials is the string helper. And reduce length by. So we can say reduce the length of initials by 1. Okay, and that'll just automatically, and you don't have to worry about there being nothing selected or anything like that. So that's a quite nice little helper I made. If we press end, we want to finish. So I'm going to say entry finished. Doesn't exist yet. Go to entry finished. So we'll get the Visual Studio to create that. So I'll right click on it. Generate method. Okay, and we'll fill that one in a minute. Right, I'm restricting my initials. So this default bit is where we take the letters. I'm restricting mine to 3 characters. Okay, so I don't want to add anything unless I've got less than 3 characters. So if I put AS and I want to put a B or something, I'll only have 2 characters in my initials. So as long as I've got less than 3, the next character that they clicked on, I'll add into the initials. Okay, so I'm going to say initials plus equals the selected name. Okay, so whatever the character is. If there's more than 3, I want to give some indication to the user that they have actually had their allocation. I'm not going to finish name entry, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to say select the end character. Okay, so as they try and put their 4th character in, it will actually jump to end, and then they can go, oh yeah, I've finished, and they could click end and go to entry finished. Okay, let's just see if that works, and then we'll run through what we've got again. Oh well, it won't work, will it? Because I haven't put any code in there. So let's just. So we got that. I'm going to put set left character up, but I haven't done the input code for it yet. Okay, right. So let's just fit that in. We'll have a look at this again in a second. So in the input code, in the high score entry stuff, if they press a key, so input manager.key pressed keys, and I'm going to use left control, but you can use whatever you want, obviously. If they press left control, then I want to run made selection, this subroutine. Okay, so I'm going to, in my input code still, made selection. Okay, so I've only got 3 keys in there now, so I've got left and right with the little key delay to select the menus, and then I've got this new one that I just added in that says, right, well, let's go to that selection code. Okay, so let's just look at that code again. So we just examine the menu item that's currently highlighted. If it's a rub, we reduce the length of our initials by 1. If it's the end character, remember that means end, we say let's finish the entry, and that doesn't work yet. And as long as we've got less than 3 characters, we'll add the currently highlighted thing to our display. And we've got in General Logic this to display our initials. So let's try that and see what it does. Okay. If you want more than 3 characters, then you've only got to change that to 3. I don't know what your design said, so I'm going to put E R B, but then I'm going to try and put another character on O. Aha, look, it's jumped to end. So I'm going to rub some out because I've decided I'm going to put sulk. So select rub. There's the space. So I'm going to rub it. I'm going to put ST. You've got your space. Okay. So when I click on end, it should go to that code that's got a problem because it's got that. All right. That's just a warning to let me know I haven't put my subroutine code in yet. Okay. So let's just do that bit. So at this point, we've got a score we want to build. Now this is practically the same code that you use for doing your default score table. So in entry finished, I've got object, list of objects, so I'm going to call that a new score, equals new list of object. Okay, and I'm going to create my score entry now, so I'm going to say new score.add. So my player score, that made up one I made, and the initials I've just done. So new score.add initials. Now if you've got extra information, so what difficulty level you're playing at, you need to make sure you add that, otherwise your score table won't work. So my score table is called score table. So add score, new score. Okay, so that will create an object to build the score and then add the score to the table. And then what we want to do, we want to show them the score table. So let's do the high, I can't remember what it's called, it's one of the switches, high score display switcher in mine, that's what I called it. Okay, so when we finish the entry, it should go to the high score table. So let's run that and see where we go. Remember, you change the names of things if you think my name's enough. So I'm going to try and add a score. I'm going to put ERB as my name. That's my actual real initials. So I'm going to select end, and there you go, look, the top score, 10 better than the top score previously. Let's wait for that to flick back. Let's add another score in. Keo, whatever the hell that means. And there you go, Keo's now got the top score by 10. Okay, and that is all there is to it. If I've got saving and loading code, so I've just quit my project and this has got saving and loading with the high score table, when I load it up again, it'll have those scores in it. And that'll be done. So just wait for that to flick. I think I set it to 5 seconds, so it'll flick in a sec. There you go, and it saved them. Persistent high scores. Nice one.